voice cracks after.
And I fucked it up.
Do it one more time for the peoples. Try to. No.
It's
it
gone.
was like so effortless the first time.
It's gone.
He had like a deep voice for a quick second.
Deep voice.
But when you do that, like that sounds fake. It was like that sounded authentic the first time around. And you weren't even recording.
I have to practice my voiceover stuff. Actually, you know what? Side tangent as we start, because we usually do like a 5-minute. People got to get used to that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The first 5 to 10 minutes, skip ahead if you don't want to fucking listen to it. But
I feel like a lot of other podcasts do it. Like they talk about like random stuff that they're doing and like, oh, we're traveling, we're going on tour. Well, guess what? We don't go on tour yet because we're not big enough yet. So
right.
this is our equivalent of that. Okay.
We're not doing a tour. But I noticed that in some bigger podcasts, they do voiceovers for their ads.
Yes.
And it's, first of all, the recording quality is fucking, I mean, from big podcasts. The recording quality is absolute dog shit. I don't know if they're just talking right into their phone.
Probably.
And they're so not enthused about...
Or maybe not, because like they have all this like really great recording equipment. So you would think that they would do it on a mic.
That's what I'm saying. But I've seen it from big names, big podcasts that they don't.
Their
and the way
just garbage.
And then they read them, and you can tell that they're reading the ad because they're looking at it. And then... the way that they
I love cheese doodles so much. Cheese doodles are my absolute favorite. Get your cheese doodles
There's
today.
no enthusiasm whatsoever. They're reading the prompter and they're just like, I use BetterHelp because BetterHelp helps me when I need to get help better. That's as... Dude, I don't get it. They record it straight from their phone. It sounds like shit, and they have no enthusiasm. Like, stop doing ads if that's the case.
Hey, BetterHelp. If you want a really good ad, why don't you just contact us instead? That's my pitch. We'll do a great ad.
Yeah.
Do you want to like give them a little like taste real quick? I'm like trying to. Do you want to give them a little taste of what we can do?
I don't know much about the company, and I don't have any.
It's about mental health, and I believe it's.
Ooh. You know what though? See, I would write a script for it. Let's in the future, not for them. We'll do a fake script for somebody else.
Okay.
And then we'll just see how it goes. Because honestly, the one that we do for Be a Nice Human, maybe it's not the best.
I thought it.
I think it's pretty decent compared to some other ones I've heard.
Get matched to the best therapist for you. Okay, I'm literally just gonna read what their like description is.
But give it some.
All right.
Give it some life. Give it some life.
BetterHelp online therapy. Get matched to the best therapist for you. Self-care is focusing on your mental health. That was beautiful.
That was pretty good. I mean,
that was their verbiage.
It was straight Rebecca mode, but at least there was enthusiasm behind it. These people are just like the way I just did it before. I can't do it. I can't do it any better than
very monotone. There's no energy.
It's so bad.
It just reminds me of like Heavyweights when he's like.
What, lunch is canceled today? Due to lack of hustle.
Deal with it. I can't do it. Deal with it.
Due to lack of hustle.
That movie is one of my favorite movies, and I think I just like refound my passion with it. Buddy!
I have them on the body system. Buddy!
All the kids in the water and they're like floating. Buddy!
When Lars says, let's play a game where we learn each other's names, and then Josh goes, we already know each other's names. Yo, it's so good. It's so quotable. If you haven't seen Heavyweights, man,
please watch it.
Go watch it.
Can we actually do a whole episode on Heavyweights?
Oh yeah.
Let's one of our next episodes just needs to be a full episode. Why don't we like start a series of like full episodes on specific movies that we think are like iconic, like or like
reviewing Heavyweights.
Yeah, like reviewing Heavyweights, reviewing things that like you are really passionate about that maybe like this newer generation, they probably haven't watched Heavyweights, but like our generation and above would be like they would know about it. You were even surprised that I knew about it. So that can go into like
it's just because when it came out, you would have been very young.
I was one.
The fact that you don't usually go backwards and watch shit. So
apparently I did.
I mean, it took me up until like Lilo and Stitch didn't come out. It came out in my era, probably.
Yeah.
But it was this weird cutoff where I stopped watching Disney and cartoon shit. Like, I really don't watch cartoons. So I just missed that wave. I think I just watched it for the first time last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great movie.
It's like 20 years later. It was okay. I'm not big on cartoons.
But see, if you watched it when you were my age, I think you would have a different appreciation for it. It's just because you watched it as a 30-year-old.
That's it, 30 exactly. I'll be 31 in a few weeks.
Well, I wanted to say 40 because the other day I was on the phone with Joe and my mom was next to me and I was like, Mom, Joe turns 40 next month, and she's like, wow, really? And you're like,
she didn't believe it.
No, she did. I swear to God. But like, there was a little bit of like he is like, damn, I missed a few years. And the whole time, like, I could see Joe's face because I'm holding the phone like close to me, and he was like flipping me the finger, and he's like, dog, like in that voice, dog.
Because in my head mentally, I've been 36 for the last few months. When I'm not 36, I always do that. But it's not a bad thing, because then when I turn 36, I'm just
I've been 36.
Yeah, whatever.
For 6 months already.
So when I
turn 37.
So like 40 will hit me a few months before I'm actually 40.
What if it doesn't? What if like 40 is like a big number for you in your head? So like you can do it 36, 37, 38, 39, but then you're like, no, I'm 39.
I do think that 40 might hurt, I think, for a minute, because...
You look good. You look good for someone almost turning 40.
I'm 36. I'm not that old. I mean, compared to somebody who's in high school, I'm old. But
you look good, kid.
Thanks. I try. The other thing is I went gray fairly early. I started getting grays in my late 20s. So.
Would you ever let me and Mel like dye it? No. Like do like a little salt and pepper action?
No. What do you mean? It already is salt and pepper.
But like a little more. Like
a little more salt?
Like no, a little more pepper, and then like it'll blend into the salt.
No, I think she likes it the way it is. So I'm just going to leave it. No, I'm not into... If you dye your hair, that's fine. But
that would be a great video. I was just thinking for content.
My
mom went gray when she was young. So she was like, get ready, but I only have one gray right now. But I was told to never pluck it because then 5 will come out.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's an old wives' tale. Like,
I think it is, but like people who have done that, they're like, no, it's not a wives' tale because that's happened to me.
It is possible. I don't know. I've thought about early on when I started going gray, like on the top, and I'd get this like streak. I was like, maybe I should dye it. And I thought about it.
Wait, I thought of a better idea. Can I get one of the hair like sprays that are like like my mom uses it to cover her grays? Can I bring one of those and like spray? I just want to see what you would look like, and it washes out. Like
I can just show you a picture of what I look like.
No, I want to see you as like an adult, like a 35-year-old man, but with your hair done.
What do you mean?
All one color. It's just a spray. It's a temporary spray.
How temporary are we talking?
It just comes out in your wash.
How do you know it's going to match my color?
Well, that might be tricky.
If it's like brown, because mine's dark brown.
Yours, yeah. Like, I might just try to do like the one that my mom has. Like,
how temporary though?
It comes out when you wash your hair.
The very next time.
Yeah. Because my mom has to reapply it every morning.
Oh God, that's such a nuisance.
Well, like she dyes her hair, but like when you get close to when you like need to go get a touch up again for like women,
sure,
she does it like the week of, so she'll do it like every morning.
I think it's more universally accepted for females to dye their hair. I mean, guys can too, but it's also
do. It's just for men.
Yeah, just I don't know.
Let's get a sponsorship from Just for Men. I feel like they're a dying breed. No one really uses them anymore. Let's do Just for Men and Just for Men beards.
As you're looking down at my chin to see, there's grays in there. There's like if this grows out,
it's more red than gray.
It'll grow out. If it gets long, you'll see the grays in there. I found a gray nipple hair a few months back, which I don't really have chest hair. Just one squirrely one. Yeah, I don't usually keep them, but if in between, trims, I go, ooh, yikes. That hurts. First it was the hair, then the beard, and then
the nipples.
Yeah, I was not super thrilled.
So stay tuned for our next episode where I'm going to bring over spray and we're going to spray. It's not actually going to be the next episode. It'll be the one after that. And we're going to spray Joe's hair. And we can literally stick your head in the slop sink after and wash it out if you felt uncomfortable.
That's exactly where I pee when I'm downstairs. Which I probably will do because this is going to make me pee in
You're
like 5 minutes.
All right. Anyway, so this week's episode, Tom Brady got roasted on Netflix.
Roasted.
For like a long time. For like for like the whole special was like 3.5 hours.
With no breaks.
3.5 hours.
I think it was 3. It was just over. It was like 3 and 5 minutes or something.
Okay.
But it was no break. It was straight 3.
That's like, I have to pee in a 3-hour span.
We stopped watching after 2.5 hours because it was good, but I also needed a break from it.
Yeah. Are you going to like pick up again on it, or do you think you're like done with it?
I think I'm done with it. Yeah, because I probably just missed him at the end and maybe... Okay. But I saw most of the comics and most of the people that went up. I don't know what was... It was probably just maybe him at the end and
I mean, it's all over social media. So what I had originally heard about this before it showed was that they got the 411 that he couldn't talk about his divorce and he couldn't talk about Giselle and he couldn't talk about his kids.
But
that didn't happen. They talked about his divorce and they talked about Giselle.
Well, I heard that it was
something about like
it was his kids. The kiss, because I was watching it and go, that's low hanging fruit. Why is nobody making fun of the fact that he was mouth kissing his sons? Daddy mouth kisses. And that was one of the things where supposedly, because in any roast, there's something. You can say, hey, just don't talk about this. I think it was that, and it was also the Robert Kraft massage thing, because Jeff Ross.
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
Jeff Ross made a joke, and he went up to him and whispered, like, said,
no,
cut that shit. And people were asking if he was serious or not. I think he was serious.
Probably. I originally heard that it was supposed to be his like marriage and divorce as well, which then at that point I was like, so then like everything's off limits. Like originally when I heard that, I'm like, so you just make fun of his like football career, I guess, like don't know when to cut it. Like I don't.
Yeah, there's not much left.
Yeah,
there's not much left.
So then when I had heard that they made the jokes about like, you know, like next time think twice before you're like your wife wants to go like do jujitsu or whatever. When I started hearing those, I'm like, all right, so that's not off limits. It must just be the kids, which Nikki Glaser went on
Howard Stern.
She actually said the joke, but she was like, you know, some things were off limits. Yeah. Like, and she gave the joke that she thought about giving that day, but it was like, and the after party, Tom, why don't you kiss me like you kiss your kids or something like that? Like it was something along the lines of that.
And I can understand where, I mean, the divorce thing, because they made a good point. Something I was listening to, they made a good point that his ex-wife, Giselle, is a public figure. Yeah. She's done, you know, the modeling stuff, but also she's doing a show. She did like some interview show and stuff. She's a public figure, so that's kind of fair game.
She's huge in Brazil.
Right. So it's kind of fair game because you sign up for that to some extent.
Yeah.
The kids, I understand because they're not. They didn't sign up for that. They didn't sign up to get made fun of because of the relationship that they have with their dad. I get it. Yeah. But when I was watching, I go, that's low-hanging fruit. Why is nobody saying this? And that's why.
We know how you feel about kissing kids.
Yeah, I know.
That was a whole podcast episode.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did. You don't remember?
I remember we talked about it. I don't remember it being a whole episode.
Oh, maybe it wasn't a whole episode, but we talked about it. Cue whatever episode that was. We would have to go looking deep for that.
Yes.
But yeah, I talked about like when it's a baby, like I feel like that's pretty normal, and you were like, absolutely not.
No. It's probably more typical from a mother standpoint. I don't know many dads that are mouth kissing their kids.
I know like a lot, to be honest. But like
you do?
Yeah, like they're babies though. Like they're like
dads that mouth kiss their kids? I guarantee you neither one of my parents ever kissed me on the mouth, even when I was a baby. There's no way.
I don't think my mom and dad did, but I think it's also a Middle Eastern thing, and that's maybe
no,
why
it's not because my parents didn't do it either.
Physical touch deprived.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if it's specific to your culture because my parents didn't do it either.
It's the Italians and the Middle Easterns; they don't do it.
Yeah, and Babs isn't really Italian, but you know.
I know that's also true.
I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I thought that was low hanging fruit, and they didn't touch on that. But you could see he was getting uncomfortable. Some of the early jokes about Giselle. He was getting a little uncomfortable.
So the part that I genuinely saw that people found like who was when Kim Kardashian came out, and like the jokes that she had towards him, like you could tell that when other people were poking fun at the whole thing, like with him and Kim Kardashian, like Kim felt super uncomfortable. And there was a point that got brought up I remember watching like some kind of recap. 98.5 The Sports Hub. So they were talking about it because Nick listens to them like every day.
I'm sorry.
Like literally, he wakes up in the morning and he puts it on TV. And then he'll drive to work and he listens to it. And then on the way back, and then he'll come home and still watch it. Anyways.
Can't do it.
So he loves Zolak and Bertrand, like Scott Zolak, ex-Patriots quarterback. Mm-hmm. So anyways, so they were talking about how at one point, I guess Kim got really upset, which like no one really like talked about and you wouldn't really know. But she started like some of the jokes kind of hit her like a little too hard. And
don't go to a fucking roast.
And Tom Brady at one point can be seen like whispering to her, like, thank you so much for coming. Like, I appreciate, like trying to make her feel better about it.
Don't go to a fucking roast if you can't. If you can't take it. The problem is him signing up for it also opens up everybody else. Everybody that surrounds
associated to him.
Right. And that's the thing. And her going there, I mean, she went up, she said some jokes. She did get booed pretty bad.
She got booed so bad in the beginning.
I wasn't really sure.
It's just kind of who she is.
Just because of who she is, I guess.
It wasn't because of what she did. It wasn't because of the alleged like secret relationship they might have been on. It was strictly because it's Kim Kardashian and like what I don't normally curse, so it's like for me on the episode, it's like, oh, what the fuck are you doing here? Like this is straight comedians. Excuse me. Did you hear that?
Oh, that's interesting that you have that thought.
It's straight comedians. It's like NFL, like pro athletes.
Sure.
And then you have Kim Kardashian and
so Taylor Swift going, and being the center of attention to the whole NFL season, right? Is that not the same?
That's
different because it's Taylor.
No, it's different because it's like like you said, she got associated because it's like she had like an alleged apparent fling with him. But it's like she goes on Saturday Night Live. She's done it multiple times and people are like, she doesn't write her own jokes. She's not normally
most
funny.
Most of them probably didn't.
You don't think that like...
No, I think a lot of them probably had help, which is, I mean, they're not comics. They have to. So when you have like Randy Moss go up, Gronk, I mean, maybe they did write some of it.
Like, I feel like they would. Like, I feel like Gronk would like...
But some of them are...
Gronk's funny.
I mean, even SNL though, or... not SNL. When you watch like Letterman or those stand-up, what am I thinking of? The talk show, the late night talk shows. They have writers that write those jokes for them.
I knew that much.
So and they were comedians at one point, or they still are comedians, but they have a writing team
to like help them.
Yeah, that's not. I
think it's more so that like Kim like doesn't have. I mean, someone has said this before, but like she doesn't really have like a talent per se.
Yes, right, agreed.
Well, some people disagree because they're like, well, she got to where she is, so clearly she's talented. Like it takes a talented person to become a billionaire. It takes a talented person to create like an empire that she has. And it's like, but like, so I think that's why people looked at her and booed her for the first like, I want to say like, it felt long. Like I felt uncomfortable.
It was bad. I don't think she expected
her get booed. And then you could tell that like as she told jokes, like people started laughing and then they clapped after because like her jokes were like funny.
Yeah. I get if you don't like her. I mean, I don't know, you don't know her, but I guess if you don't like her persona, you don't like her as a celebrity.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, do you go out of your way to boo? Who boos? I mean, unless you're going to a sporting event, I don't know. I feel that's weird.
I feel like I wouldn't clap for her, and I also wouldn't boo for her. I would kind of just like stand there. Like I almost wish that like no one clapped or no one booed.
Yeah.
Like then that's like a real like, oh shit.
Because at the end of the day, I think what happens is certain people in the spotlight you look at as if they're not even human.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that hurt her feelings because,
I'm sure
and again, it's a roast. So don't go to the fucking roast if that's the case. Yeah. I'm saying for the jokes. If you can't handle the jokes, then don't go to a fucking roast.
Fair.
But also the booing when you go up is kind of like,
I
don't know. It
wasn't great.
It's not. I don't know. From the fan standpoint, I watching. I was like, oh shit. She's like getting booed it bad.
Felt uncomfortable because it felt like a while. Like it wasn't like a boo. It was like
it was hard.
Like it felt like almost a minute long, to be honest.
Again, if you don't care for her as a but at least respect the fact that she's going up there and being a part of it. I don't know why she was a part of it, but respect the fact that she was going up there to be a part of it, and just let her say her jokes and leave.
So who was your favorite person that told jokes?
Tony Hinchcliffe.
And then what was do you remember your favorite joke that was said?
Oh man. He had like a 7-minute or a 5-minute thing where he roasted everybody. Nikki Glaser also was right there. She was probably number 2.
She's coming to Foxwoods. Would you go?
I haven't seen enough of her stand up to say yay or nay.
Fair.
But she was really good. She had some good fucking jokes.
She was really
good. My favorite joke that Tony Hinchcliffe said, man, I got to think who he went at. Oh, shit. I don't know. Just watch his 5-minute thing where he roasts everybody. Nikki Glaser had one that I remember. I think she was the one who was roasting Gronk and said to stop doing ads for everything that you eat, like Subway and something else, and Tide Pods.
So random.
It was pretty good, though.
But I had heard that, like, Gronk, and I think I told you this, Gronk uses those ads as his spending money when he was still in the NFL. All the money that he ever made from the NFL, he sat on. He never spent a dime of it. So it's like, I think, especially since now he has like no NFL career currently. Who knows if he'll ever make a...
He's doing Fox.
He is?
Yeah, he's been doing the Fox Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. So like, but like, since he doesn't have like a playing career now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that he feels like he has to like up the ante on touching every single ad possible that like pertains to him. Yeah,
I think Hinchcliffe's one against Gronk was, thanks for taking the time from writing letters to Santa to be here tonight. He got roasted. It was pretty good though, because it was a return to form of roasts and dark humor, and it was so much not this fucking sensitive, don't say this, don't say that. Yeah. It was, we're all there to roast and to be funny.
Can you imagine, like, would you be okay if someone roasted you? Like, do your feelings, even going into it, knowing full-heartedly that people are going to rip you a new one?
Yeah.
Like, do you think Tom Brady walked away a little bar? Like, like the tiniest bit of like, oh, shit, that one hurt. Like, that one stung.
The thing is, some of them are people he knows. Belichick went up, Drew Bledsoe. Yeah. So people he knows, people he knows. Why did that sound so weird when I just said that? People he knows went up.
Yeah.
I don't know why that sounds so weird to me.
No, it's accurate.
But the comedians he doesn't know.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of take.
So do you think maybe those ones from the comedians stung a little more?
Maybe, because Kevin Hart was going hard. He was hosting and he was going hard.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the beauty of doing the roast, if you sign up for it, you get the last word. So if you write the best shit, you can roast everybody and have the last word.
Fair.
I don't know how well he did. I mean, you're going up against, it's not just comics. These are like killers. Yeah, they're lucky they showed Shane Gillis in the audience. They showed Jimmy Carr. They're lucky that they didn't have them
on there. Shane Gillis would have been, like, I've only seen a little bit of his stuff. So one of my friends from Squid Game slept over one night. And he and Nick just went down a path because Nick didn't know who Shane Gillis was.
Right.
Nick went down like a very deep and dark path of all of his stand up. He's like very brutal and he's very blunt and he's very he's not my kind of humor personally. And he says
I can only imagine what your kind of humor is.
He makes I like I don't know. Like,
who do you think is funny? Did you watch comics? Like,
not really. So, like, I guess boring. I'm not.
You're too woke for comedy, though. That's the problem.
That's not true. So true. Like, I really like Matt Rife. But like, he's like, I haven't seen all his stuff. I liked all the things that I did see from Nikki. So, like, Shane Gillis just makes a lot of
jokes about Down syndrome, but he has
an
family
uncle
members.
who has Down syndrome. Yeah,
so it's kind of fair game.
I don't know. I feel like.
But why can't the thing is? You also have to separate the intent from what's being said. That's what comedy is. That's what humor is. You know, there's certain things that are said.
My kind of comedy is boring. Dry humor of The Office and things like that.
But even that, there's a lot of racial jokes in there and jokes about gay people in there. I mean, you watch it?
I did watch it. I watched all of it.
Apparently not, dude. I mean, they almost said that at one point they couldn't do that show now. They probably could now, but a few years ago they were like they can't do that. They wouldn't be able to do that show.
No, I even think now would be like hard for them. I think there's still too. There's
I
still
think
too
it's
many.
over. I think the woke shit's over. Schultz just said it on his podcast too, and it's so
really?
true. Yeah, the woke shit's done.
That's
because you have to separate. Now, if you don't find something funny, that's fine. It's just not for you.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that doesn't mean that it's wrong or you can't ever measure somebody's intent. So like Shane Gillis, when he's making jokes about Down syndrome, his intent is to be funny.
Right.
But if it doesn't land with you, it's not like he was trying to make you feel bad. He was intending to be funny.
I know. It just wasn't funny to me.
Yeah, I know. I can only imagine, dude.
But he says that in his stand up. He literally in that same one, he says like my like comedy doesn't land with like females very often because there was a girl in the audience and he was like, what did you cut, like were you forced to come with your boyfriend? And she's like, yeah. Like it was like I don't think he really like tailors towards like girls.
No, definitely not the woke culture. But again, some of the comics that they have up there, Tony Hinchcliffe is a killer. Jimmy Carr would have fucking been great on there. I don't know why they didn't have him. Who else? Schultz is good.
Have you watched any other roasts?
Oh yeah,
they've done one on like Justin Bieber. Who else have they done?
Comedy Central used to do them, maybe not every year, but they had a long stretch. They did Bieber, they did Trump, they did Charlie Sheen. They did
I feel like it's been a long time since they've done. I feel like the last one was like Justin Bieber.
Probably.
Which probably would have been
Trump,
like 5
maybe?
or 6 years ago. Oh, maybe.
Pre-COVID, but then during COVID, everybody got too sensitive for life. So they actually they talked about that on Schultz's podcast. It was the networks didn't want to touch those things because they were too afraid of sponsors and pissing people off because everybody was crying foul because nobody could take a fucking joke anymore.
So the Trump one was in 2011.
Damn, that was
so
old
that
as
was
shit.
old. I think Justin Bieber would have been the most recent. I think.
It might have been. I'm trying to think of. Look up the list of Comedy Central roasts because they had some fucking good. Greg Giraldo, R.I.P., was fucking great. You ever want to laugh at some dark humor? Look up Greg Giraldo roasts.
I wonder, why do you think that they switched from Comedy Central to Netflix? Like they sold it to Netflix?
No, because it's just a roast. Comedy Central doesn't own the roast, but Comedy Central has also gone further away from stand-up comedy. Back in the day, that was all they had.
That was all they did.
And now it's like they don't do any of it. And I don't think they weren't paying people very well either. I
think it's more now, like they do a lot of like animated stuff on Comedy Central. Like it's just straight animated.
Yeah, it's not stand-ups anymore.
All right, so 2003, we have Dennis Leary. In 2005, we have Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah, I remember that
2005, we have Pamela Anderson.
I remember that
2006, we have William Shatner. 2007, Flavor Flav. 2008, Bob Saget. I remember that one. That one was bad.
Yeah.
No, that one was bad. Like, there were so many jokes towards Mary-Kate and Ashley. And
yeah.
That was so bad. Okay, 2009.
You mean it was so good?
No, like it's come out that it made them feel like uncomfortable. Like it was like that for them because they were so young. Like they didn't sign up for that. Like when they were making those jokes about being inappropriate. Anyways, 2009, Larry the Cable Guy. 2009.
That one was good.
Oh, 2 in 2009. 1 in March and 1 in August. Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
2010, David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
When you're reading these names, the years, I'm like, why?
It feels like
it
yesterday.
doesn't. I don't think it was that fucking long ago.
2011, Donald Trump. 2011, Charlie Sheen. So 2 in 2011. 2012, Roseanne. 2013, James Franco.
Yeah.
2015, Justin Bieber. So that was newer. Then there was another one in 2016 of Rob Lowe. 2018, Bruce Willis. I don't think I watched either of those. 2019, Alec Baldwin.
Wow,
and that was it. 2019 was the last one. So it was right before COVID.
Right before COVID. And COVID just kind of exposed, everybody was hypersensitive. And
so now maybe Netflix is going to start doing their own series of like roasts of people.
Yeah, probably. Well, they've done the Jonas Brothers did one, which wasn't really good.
Oh, I did see that actually. I didn't see the whole thing, but I like love the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah,
I really like their wives' jokes more than.
It was. I just remember it wasn't very good. But they're kind of, I mean, even with the Dave Chappelle thing, he caught a lot of heat for the trans jokes. Yeah. But obviously, if you had some outcry on it, you didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Because the story kind of wrapped up where it made sense. Mm-hmm. And Netflix caught a bunch of heat, and they're like, oh, we're not taking it down. This is his special, and we said we're going to put it up. We're going to leave it up. So they kind of broke the woke.
You think that single-handedly did that?
I think that was a big piece of it, is them leaving up Dave Chappelle's stand-up and the trans joke.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, so I'll have to go look at it.
He tells a story about a friend.
Loved Dave Chappelle. He got canceled for a little while, like years ago. I don't actually even know why.
Which, when he left Chappelle's show?
Yeah, it was like right after that.
Yeah.
He got like canceled for something.
I hate that term. Are we done with that term?
I don't know how.
Because that doesn't make any sense. So
if
you don't go on I forget, somebody said it, but it's like, oh, if I don't go on the internet, then I'm not canceled.
Yes.
It was something, he walked away from a Comedy Central deal for Chappelle's show. It was $50 million. Yeah. He walked away from it. I think because don't quote me on this, I think it was some sort of creative control.
Okay.
Where they were maybe trying to water it down a little bit, and he wasn't having it.
Okay. I mean, I still use the pee on you. I still use that like on the daily. There's like some jokes from the Chappelle show. I think that's straight from the Chappelle show, right?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
That I think I quote it like on the daily or on the weekly. I don't know why. I just think that he's hilarious.
He's great. I mean, the joke was about somebody that he was friends with. A trans person that he was friends with. And
okay.
He had a joke about.
Okay.
And I think he wrapped it up with that person would have appreciated the joke type deal.
Oh.
And people were just kind of
like
bitching
pissed.
To bitch. Yeah, they're just bitching to bitch
about it. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what happened it seems like during COVID, everything kind of swung back. Because there's certain things that you don't want to say, but I think it's like the pendulum. We overcompensate, and now it's starting to level out. There's certain things you don't want to say.
Yeah.
But also, you can't not say anything. Like, comedy's comedy. It has to swing. I'm not saying go all the way back, but it has to level out.
Fair.
A lot of like society is overcompensating one way, and then it'll level out.
Do you think that all the jokes that were made for Tom Brady were like fair game? Side note, Tom Brady, it was so weird to not see. Like, I feel like I looked at him and I was like, he looks old, and it makes me so sad. Like, it finally
looks 50.
I know, but like,
still looks pretty good.
He still looks great. Like, he still looks great.
Yeah.
But I think when he's in like peak top performance of like training the way he does, like obviously he's like, I think he just looked, like less like.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
Which is normal.
He's not
but
working
I was just like, oh, Tom.
I will say with the jokes though, as long he signed up for it, and to my knowledge, they didn't touch on the two things he said not to, except Jeff Ross, and he basically put the kibosh on it right
There was
away.
another thing that I heard actually real quick that they weren't supposed to touch on, which was the potential beef between Kraft and Brady, which they didn't touch on that.
Yeah, and they did something where and Belichick had a good joke, and again, I don't know who was writing. Maybe it was him.
I don't know.
It was a joke, and this isn't me telling it but the synopsis was something about him getting roasted in the recent series that they came out with on Apple.
Oh, okay.
So, but it was funny. I just remember it being funny because it was something about roasting him. Like the Apple thing. Because right after he left the team, they released this documentary on Apple TV about the Patriots, and from what I've heard, some feedback was he was the center of getting roasted
on it.
I'm like,
oh, interesting.
Somebody also said that it felt like a Patriots therapy session. I go, this is such elitist fucking bullshit. You guys win 6 Super Bowls. You average a Super Bowl appearance every other year for almost 20 fucking years, and then you guys can't get along. It was such fucking elitist bullshit.
It's funny because, like, on 98.5, they were saying how now Bill obviously wasn't getting, like, any deals from like the NFL after being let go, walking away, whatever, from the Patriots. Yeah. And now there's this like resurfacing of him where like people are very like pro Belichick because you like finally saw this like non like grumpy whatever side of him that people are now like like hoping for the best for him, like not the douche that he kind of like seemed to be. Like it almost like humanized him a little more.
I would say the same thing about Brady with the man in the arena. And Maurice and I have talked about this on another program. And
are you guys going to talk about this on your podcast too? The roast.
We might. We're recording tonight. We haven't recorded in 2 weeks. Mostly my fault. Who knows? Maybe we'll touch on it.
Okay.
But he looked at the man in the arena as if it was a bad thing because it kind of drew back the curtain on some things. And I was like, I think it humanized him. It made him. You saw his perspective on things. And I liked him more. I had more respect for him off of that.
Because I think we always see these people as like Tom the athlete, Belichick the coach, Kraft the owner. Like you don't, besides that and like the massage parlor, I really don't know. And his really young, hot wife, I don't know much about Kraft. Yeah. Belichick, like I don't know anything besides of the fact that he's a hard ass. And that's all I really know about him. And then for like Tom, like pro athlete who like prioritizes wellness and loves loved his wife and kids. And that's kind of all I knew. So like when you see him beyond that, I don't know. I like I said, like I'm glad that it was well received that people are like, oh, like Bill's a normal person. Like he's just like, he's a dad who like was in like job mode or work mode. And now he's like, turn down the walls a little.
They did it the right way. They gave the media nothing. You give them nothing, they got nothing. That's kind of the thing. And that's what they did. So once Brady left and went to Tampa, he started opening up to doing more things and being a little bit more vocal, going on shows and stuff. Same thing with Belichick. Now that runs over, he did the whole draft with Pat McAfee. He did the roast. I mean, this is shit that he would not have done.
Absolutely not. If this was Patriots circa like even like 3-4 years, not 3-4 years, but like 4 or 5 years ago, like this would have been very different.
No, he wouldn't have done it. But now it's
fair
over.
Game.
Yeah, it's fair game.
Fair game.
Are you gonna watch all 3 hours of this?
Yes, I will. Like I said, we have to devote time this weekend because when we caught it was 11 o'clock, and he's like, Nick was like, do you really want to start this and we'll be done at like 2 a.m? I'm like, no, I don't. So we're going to set time this weekend.
Do you, when you watch something on Netflix or any streaming service, do you have to commit yourself to watch the full thing? Like you won't pause and go back?
No, we will pause and go back. But I think because we're already in the middle of that, we're watching a show called Baby Reindeer, which is it's a good show, but it's really dark. Yeah. But those are only 20-minute episodes. So we were like, let's finish our Baby Reindeer. It's 20 minutes and it was 11 o'clock. So we were like, we'll watch 2 episodes. I'd rather do that than commit to the 3-hour. It wasn't like, oh, we're not watching anything. It was like, well, let's do Baby Reindeer. Yeah. We'll set this aside for like this weekend.
We started that and gave up. We also started, we started the Mayans.
Oh, I haven't seen
and
that.
Here's my problem with the Mayans, because I know I'm going to get shit for this. We watched Sons, and I've seen Sons a few times. Yeah. I watched it when it was actually on TV.
Yep.
She's never watched it. So we watch it, and then I said, when that's over, we can watch the Mayans, because that's the sequel that came out a few years later. I've never watched it. And everybody says, you just got to get through the first season. Just get through the first season and then it gets better.
It's long.
My problem is, why do I have to get through the fucking beginning of the show for it to get good? Like, if I have to waste a whole season just for it to get good?
I'm okay with like wasting a couple episodes, like the first 2 episodes. Like when people are like that, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
But like a whole season, 10 episodes?
And it's not in the middle.
I gotta waste 10 hours before it gets good.
I told people about Sons of Anarchy, season 3, they go to Ireland. It's good, and it actually has a lot of setups for later. But some of the episodes could be a little slow. So I say just get through season 3. But you've already had 2 great seasons,
right?
You can't tell me off rip.
That's my thing about Breaking Bad that I told you. Like you have to get through the first like 2-3 episodes, and then it's good.
I'm telling you, it ain't gonna. We tried Baby Reindeer, and it's like a miss.
Really?
Kinda.
What didn't you like about it? Episode 4 is like
both
really
of their
hard to
faces
watch.
creep me out. He might be creepier than her. If I'm being honest.
You know, he's the one that actually went through like the stalkerage. Like he plays himself.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
He's creepy in that. He has a creepy face. The accents don't help either.
It's part of him looking the part.
Oh no, I know. He doesn't. I've seen pictures of him not in that.
Yeah, like he looks good. I saw a picture of him yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, he's kind of cute."
Yeah,
but like when I see him in that, I'm like, "Oh shit,
creepy."
He looks like he just looks, yeah.
Did you watch Saltburn?
Yeah.
The kid in that is kind of creepy.
Which one? The shorter one?
Yeah, the main character.
Yeah.
But then when you see him outside, like,
no, I still think he's like,
I don't know.
What's his name? Barry. So many girls like love him. I'm gonna get shit for this. I think he's starting to look like Zac Efron in the way that he is doing too much work to his face. Like
really?
he has a jawline now that he never had. Like he had like boy face. He has this.
What else has he been? I've only known him since that.
Let me see.
He was on Hot Ones. That's when I saw him. I go, okay, he's not creepy. He just looked creepy in the movie.
He was in, let me see, Saltburn, The Banshees of, I don't even know, The Killing of Sacred Deer, Dunkirk, which that was a big movie, The Batman of 2022, Gladiator 2, which is coming out this year, I guess. Mm-hmm. Eternals, which that's a Marvel movie, so you and I haven't watched that. The Green Knight, American Animals, Eternals 2. Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff.
Okay. I only knew him from Saltburn, which I watched like last year. Well, anyway.
Well, I'm gonna go watch Tom Brady's roast.
I wonder if you're gonna like. You have to watch and get back to me because I'm curious of your thoughts because you have this weird.
I feel like I'll like it.
You don't find dark humor funny.
I think I do. I just don't like some things.
What some things don't you like?
Like I think like the jokes about like illnesses or like mental illnesses or physical disabilities, like those are the ones that I don't like. Race stuff, like you wanna call me every name in the book and like whatever a joke.
Right.
Like
and I do.
I think that's funny. Like they think that's fair. I think there's a fine line, but like I think that's okay.
You have to watch. Matt Rife has a skit about people in wheelchairs. You should watch that.
Okay.
You should watch that.
All right.
Because it's basically saying that if you're excluding people for any reason, you're actually excluding them from being part of a joke. That's another mindset to think. It's the same thing with the trans, where he even will go that way too. Actually, I think that was his joke. His joke was about people in wheelchairs have it harder than trans people. And just let that sit and watch it.
Okay.
But it is kind of, a thing where you don't want to exclude people from being part of a joke either.
Right. I understand that.
So watch that.
I shall report back.
Okay.
All right. Well, I love that for me.
I hate that for all of us. Especially me.
All right. See you later. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.